Hoo-wee. What's going on, party people? This your man Grill, looking like the Michelin Man, because it's cold out here. It says it's 32, but I think it's like 27, 28, minus 84. It's cold out here. Yo, this is something that just happened to me with regards to a signing that I got. I got 2 signings today. So I had to pick up some documents, and there was so much confusion with this. This whole deal that the company just found out. They just called me and said, they said, did you know you had to print documents? I was like, no. I said there was nothing in the order that indicated that I needed to print anything. I said the instruction said for me to pick the documents up. And they was like, yeah, that's what we was told. So now I have to print some documents. And this thing here, this situation here, this scenario is what burns the britches of a lot of people in this notary business. A lot of the notaries, they don't like this because they want some notaries, and this is, I'm just sharing with y'all what people have told me, what I've seen people say in videos and all of that, men and women, young, old, everybody. It's like they're expecting every single order to be 100% on point, no delays, no fluctuations, no oops, I forgot. They want everything on point. And I get it. But unfortunately, that is not how this business is ran. That is how most businesses aren't run. I mean, most businesses aren't run so precise, so, so well oiled that there's no slippage in the gears. There's no, oops, I hit the gas instead of the brake. There's none of that. People want they don't want that. They don't want those mistakes. And I'm like, you're going to have that in almost every business. Little mishaps. The question is, how do you bounce back and how do you adjust to those? And you have to. So, they told me, and I'm like, all right, I print them. And, fortunately, and I'm on my way to a 9:30 appointment. It's 9:02 now. I'm like, all right, I'm going to just have to run back home, print this, that, and the other. And see, that's the part that a lot of people don't like. Some people, it's like, once I leave the house, I ain't going back. I don't want to go back. And I get, hey, why don't you put a printer in your car and stuff? Right now, it's too daggone cold. It's too cold for me. And I just don't feel like looking all that stuff back and forth. Because I don't really have to. And since I'm doing this full time, I got time to go back home, get it, this, that, and the other. Plus, the one that I'm going to do, it's not going to take me that long. It ain't going to take that long for me to do. It's 100-some pages. I'll be in and out of there probably in 30 minutes, maybe 40. So that means that'll put me at a little bit after 10 a.m. I get home, print the stuff real quick, and then get on over to my next one. So I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. It's going to be a little bit more driving, but what it does is give me some extra miles to put on the order to say, hey, this is how many miles I drove today for this order, which is more of a tax deduction for me. So I'm, okay, 19C. I'm good with it, because this is just a part of it. I also like these kind of scenarios, not all the time. I like it when it's not my fault and I can save the day. A lot of people talk about notaries, it's our job to save the closing. This is where I feel it's our job to save the closing, meaning we're able to get the stuff done for us, getting the documents, printing them, even though there's some mishaps, some miscommunications, things of that nature. When I am able to get in there and get it done in a situation like this without complaint, without whining about you need to pay me more money, but I can get it done, that signing company remembers that. That signing company is like, hey, you know what? Griff is the one that do it. Especially when you have other notaries that may turn their nose up and give them a hard time, and they can actually say, well, you know what? See, that's why we like working with Griff. This is the reputation that you want. And I know that's against the narrative that is out there from a lot of the TMCs. They're out there saying, no, everything needs to be exact and right and this and that, and there should be no variance. But life has variances. Things constantly are fluctuating. You have variance in your life, and people have to learn to work around yours. Why do people have a problem with all of this fluctuating? In my opinion, from these few years of experience that I have out here, these 6.5 years of experience, people got too much on their plate in other areas of their life. Therefore, this is way too much for them. Okay, it must have been an accident. Yeah, they got the traffic backed up. Some debris on the road. People have too much going on in their life to where they don't have time to go back and actually do the job. So when you're doing 5 and 6 different streams of income, when you got 18 different things you're trying to do in a day, even though they all may be important, it might be a little difficult for you to try to do this notary business that requires a lot of flexibility in some cases because of mishaps, missteps, this, that, and the other. Somebody forgot to press a button, somebody forgot to upload something, somebody forgot to let you know that this, that, and the other should be done, or whatever, or there's an emergency with the signers and they no longer can do it at 3 o'clock, now they got to do it at 12 o'clock. And I get that, and it's like, okay, well, if I don't do this order, that's $100 that I'm missing out on. That's $85. And see, no matter what the dollar amount, when you can't make that money, that bothers you. Yeah, it might have been $75, but that's $75 you don't have now. So what do? How do I make that $75 up? You see what I'm saying? So I understand some people are like, well, I'm just not gonna mess with loan closings at all. That's fine. You don't have to. You ain't got to mess with them. Leave them alone. I'll take them. I'll do them. I'll work them because that's what works in my area. That's what works in my business model. But you have to be flexible. And I've shared this over and over again, and I don't know when it's going to click into people. But with any business, you got to be flexible in your business. You got to be able to adjust. One of the biggest problems that restaurants have is that they're not prepared for an influx of customers. All of a sudden they get a school bus full of kids coming after a football game. What do? You're not prepared for it. You haven't planned for it. You see what I'm saying? You can't plan for every scenario, but there's some things you can sort of think and figure out, what, I need to be prepared. What happens if what would I do if at the last minute they come back and say, hey, I got to update, I got to change. Yeah, we just found out that these documents need to be included in the loan packet, and we didn't realize that was the case. Okay, not a problem. Your mind got to start thinking about, what am I going to do to adjust it and make this thing happen? How do I make it happen? How do I get out there? Okay, what do I need to do? So prior to it happening, what do I need to have in place? Well, you need to make sure you got plenty of print on paper, your printer's ready, your computer's ready, you're set, that you can go in, walk in your office, log onto your computer, log into the site, boom, 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 and print. Because you got enough toner, enough enough paper and all that stuff, and you can print. You got to be thinking this way. So as soon as they said it, there was no, oh man, you messing my day up. It's, all right, we'll figure it out. Okay, cool. No problem. I got you. I said I might have to let them know I might be running late, but they said no problem. They said no big deal, because it's not on me. And I'm like, bet. And this makes me look good to the signing company. It makes me look good to the signing company's client base, because they're like, hey, we got somebody that we can rely on. So in the beginning, yeah, it phased me. It twerked me. It tweaked me, whatever you want to call it. It was like, man, but I had to realize, once I realized that this is not a common thing, but it can happen, I had to start asking myself, just like with anything, and as I've always shared with y'all, that I learned, people only pay you for the problems you solve, not the ones you create. So I said, how do I solve this problem on my end? How do I make it work on my end? And I came up with some ideas and this, that, and the other, and so far, it has worked. I've been able to handle these last minute adjustments, these last minute things that come up, and I laugh at them sometimes. And when you have the right attitude, sometimes the people will throw a couple of more dollars your way. They will. They'll throw a couple of more dollars your way. And what I have to, and what I should always suggest that you do is let them know, hey, look, I'm gonna have to run back home because I already got the documents with me, this, that, and the other. So I'm gonna have to go back home and print and this and so that they'll know, and maybe they will talk it up for you and say, oh, hey, yeah, we need to compensate the notary because they already had the documents, and now you're asking them to go back, which is gonna make them a little late for this year. So let's go on and throw another $10 on there, $25 or what have you. And I've seen that happen time and time again. Will it happen on this order? Don't know. If it does, cool. If it doesn't, I ain't worried about it. Because I got the order, nobody else does. I'm making the money, and I'm looking good to the company. Because now they don't have to sit here and stress me like, well, I ain't doing it now that you got me. Nah, I'm sorry. I ain't got all that. I ain't doing that. And then next thing you know, they got to run around, and now they got to go try to find a new notary. I'm not putting them in a bad position. And you can say, well, they're putting you in a bad position. Not if I actually have the ability to do it. And that's one of the things. People expect you to be available to them. And that's why I keep saying the number one way to market your business is to be available to do business. When y'all get it that it's about availability, I don't care how much you know. If you're not available for these individuals when they need you to be, you're no good to them. So work on your availability. Work on making sure that you can do the orders when you get them. Make sure you start thinking about what could go wrong and having contingency plans and backups. I mean, me and some notaries, we cool with each other around here. We know that if something came down, they can come to my house and print. I can go to their house and print. And if you don't know anybody, I understand. And, you know, I get it. I get it. You might not know anybody, so you're going to be stuck, you know. And then sometimes you might just have to let the order go. And in the beginning, if I had a problem with my printer or whatever, yeah, I had to call the company up and say, hey, look, I just need to be honest with you. I'm having a problem with my printer. I don't know what the deal is, and it's going to take me a while to get it fixed. But I just want to give y'all a heads up so y'all can go in and get somebody else on the order to get the customer taken care of. People appreciate that. They will appreciate that, and they'll be like, okay, no problem. Then once I get everything fixed, I let them know. I say, hey, problems resolved, this, that, and the other. You know, just want to give you a heads up that I got everything fixed. So I'm ready to rock and roll, and I found out what the problem is, and that won't be an issue anymore. That's all you got to do. That's all. That's being professional and all of that. Not, well, I'm going to go sneak and I'm going to go to FedEx and I'm going to print, you know, this 200-page document, and then I'm going to see if I can get them to pay me more money. I'm not even going to try to do nothing like that, because that's going to be an arm and a leg out of my pocket, and I'm not doing it. I'd rather just, hey, you know what? Let me let this order go. And there were times where I really needed that money, but I had to let it go because I just couldn't do it because of technical issues, whether it was my printer. One time it was my daggone, not my printer, but my daggone computer wanted to do an update, which meant now I can't get, and my wife was at home for me to use her computer. So that's when I bought me a little standalone computer that I can just get on the internet and get documents and stuff just as a backup and print from that. You know, things of that nature, what you have to work toward. You don't have to jump out here and do it all at once, but you do have to work toward it. And that's one of the things that I've done, and that's what's helped me to be successful. So I just wanted to share that with y'all and everything. So y'all have a good one. Give me your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button. If this information is helping you understand the business, please hit the like button. Please give a comment of some sort. Greatly appreciated. That helps out that what they call the YouTube algorithm and all of that. And y'all have a good one. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.